Is the Reserve Bank losing authority? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, or, well, sparkling cold water as I am at the moment, and we're going to talk about, well, a media release from the RBA in response to a final report about what's going on at the RBA and some drastic changes. But let's just check out this chart here. Now, all of a sudden, there's an issue with the RBA. Just recently. No one was complaining or no one had issue, at least in the two main political parties, when everything was fantastic and rates were going down, 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 and down. Hey, it's funny how these things work, isn't it? It really is. So, the bank welcomes today's release of the review of the Reserve Bank and the government's response. Okay, and you can download this if you want. It's like 200 pages, guys. I have it here. Nope, that's a media release. Yeah, it's decent. Maybe we should go through it in a live stream. What do you reckon? 294 pages, bit of fun. There you go. We'll jump back and see what they have to say about it. The review is comprehensive and covers the bank's objectives and responsibilities, the framework for monetary policy, the governance of the bank, and the way the Reserve Bank Board and the bank operate. The bank thanks the review panel and the Secretariat for their work and all those who provided submissions. Governor Philip Lowe welcomed the review panel's support for the current monetary policy framework in Australia, including the flexible inflation target and the operational independence of the bank. He also welcomed the support for the Council of Financial Regulators and the explicit recognition of the bank's responsibility for financial stability. The review recommends the establishment of separate boards for monetary policy and governance of the bank. This change can help strengthen both the operation of monetary policy and the way the bank is governed. It will require changes to the Reserve Bank Act of 1959, which is a matter for the Australian Government and Parliament. The bank will work constructively to ensure that this and other recommended changes to the Reserve Bank Act strengthen the bank and the way it operates. It will also work constructively with the Treasury on an updated statement on the conduct of monetary policy. The review makes a number of recommendations regarding how the board works, including the frequency of meetings and the bank's approach to communication. Well, I think that's been a huge issue because many members of the public have been burned. They heard the sound bites and the media repeating again and again that the cash rate will not increase until 2024. We've had people in the comments tell us that they work in the financial sector. They tell us that some of their clients borrowed with the expectation that rates won't increase until 2024 and they would just hit that mortgage bloody hard. And people bought during a mania, and of course it didn't happen. The rates have gone up from 0.1 to 3.6%. And there's even talk of it going up again next month. So, yeah, their communication certainly needs work. And not everyone is a super nerd who will go and watch bloody, Senate Standing Committee footage to put on YouTube and discuss like I do, or like you guys watching me talk about it or read it. I mean, so we've got to appreciate why the normies out there trusted what they heard in the media. Do you think it'll be a wake-up call for some people? Maybe they'll start being a little bit skeptical about everything that's put forward to them? Hopefully. The board will consider these issues over coming meetings and develop and implement a new set of arrangements. The review also makes recommendations that go to the way the bank operates. These include appointing a chief operating officer, elevating the communication function, enhancing the process supporting the board and monetary policy strategy, and continuing to invest in the diversity and skills of our leadership team. The bank will develop a plan to implement these changes in the most effective way. The governor said, The review panel rightly acknowledged the substantial contribution the bank has made to Australia's economic success and the skills and dedication of the staff. It also acknowledged the RBA is highly regarded and respected in Australia and overseas. The recommended changes will build on the strong foundation and strengthen the bank's governance and decision-making processes. They will help us deal with the complex world in which we operate as we strive to promote the economic welfare of Australia's people. And they've got a media conference at it, held later. I think we can look at that in a moment. The Reserve Bank is responsible for monetary policy in Australia, the determination of payment system policy, maintaining a stable financial system, issuing the nation's banknotes, operating the core of the payment system, and providing banking services to the government. So notice what it doesn't care about. It looks at other things, it looks at house prices, but it doesn't care about them. These things aren't part of their mandate. Maybe it should be. Maybe it should be. What do you think? Actually, guys, let me know. Should house prices be part of the bank's mandate? I'd argue it should, because frankly, that's the thing that rates are going to have the most impact on. The review of the RBA was announced by the Treasurer, the Honourable Dr. Jim Chalmers, in July 2022. The Reserve Bank assisted the review panel in several ways, including through the provision of staff for the review secretariat, individual and group discussions, the provision of information in response to questions, along with a large number of related documents. Staff were also invited to make public or private submissions, respond to a confidential survey, and participate in focus groups. The review was handed down to the government on the 31st of March, and it was issued along with the government's response by the Treasurer on the 20th of April. Now let's jump over here, and we will have a look, at least at the, maybe not the whole thing, not the forward. Do they have an executive summary? Executive summary and RBA fit for the future. Let's at least read through this to see here, guys. So, Australia's economic performance has been strong in the 3 decades since flexible inflation targeting was introduced. Inflation and unemployment have been both lower and more stable than in the preceding decades. The monetary policy framework and the RBA's actions have contributed significantly to these outcomes. In turn, this success has underpinned confidence in the monetary policy framework and the RBA as a trusted central bank with a dedicated, high-quality staff. The RBA and its executives are highly regarded domestically and internationally and make important contributions in international forums. Over recent decades, the economic and financial environment has become more complex. Globalization has led economies to be more interlinked, and financial innovation has raised the complexity of the financial systems. More recently, geopolitical tensions, COVID-19, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine have disrupted economies worldwide. The ongoing process of climate change is likely to add to economic volatility, and geopolitical tensions are likely to remain high, which could impact future patterns of global trade and capital flows. Monetary policy itself has become more complex, as in many countries interest rates declined until they had hit the effective lower bound. Central banks have responded by using new tools, such as asset purchases and forward guidance. Broad changes in demographics and inequality have added uncertainty to the future path of interest rates. The more complex and uncertain environment has tested the RBA and its monetary policy framework. This has underscored some of the strengths of current arrangements, but in a number of recent episodes, it has highlighted clear opportunities to improve systems and processes. To be ready to face current and future challenges, Australia needs a clear and robust monetary policy framework, effective decision-making arrangements, and a high-performing institution that better supports decision makers. Taking the lessons from recent performance, along with evidence gathered from submissions, consultations, and engagement with RBA staff, the review makes recommendations grouped into 5 themes and reinforces each other, Figure 1. Together, they will deliver an RBA that is fit for the future. Okay, let's have a look at this Figure 1. Okay. We're not going to go through the whole document, guys. It's going to be probably good to put you to sleep. So, figure 1, a clear framework, and the 5 themes. A clearer monetary policy framework. So, clear monetary policy objectives and toolkits, well-defined financial stability role. Doesn't it already have that? Effective policy decision-making. Stronger monetary policy decision-making and accountability. A more expert monetary policy board supported by better processes. Greater transparency and accountability around decisions. High-performing institution. An open and dynamic RBA. More agile and empowering culture. More open and constructive debate. Yeah. I wonder if they have a culture of debate there. I suspect not. More robust corporate governance. A new governance board to support and oversee management. And RBA leaders drive institutional and cultural change. RBA leaders drive change and are accountable for delivering. I would just expect these things would be already present in an organization like this. Perhaps that's just my naivete. Let's see, what else do they have here? We won't go through all of those in detail. Executive summary. An open and dynamic. Let's go to this one here. An open and dynamic RBA. Because I think the majority of average people, all of us there, are concerned with the communication of the RBA. I think that's had the biggest impact on a whole lot of people. The RBA's management, culture, and operations determine how effectively it can support policy decision-making and its other functions. It must recruit, retain, and motivate high-quality staff, organize and lead them in a way that produces outstanding policy advice and well-run financial infrastructure, and will be able to reflect, adapt, and grow to meet fresh challenges. The review's extensive consultations, including with current and former staff, identified many strengths of the RBA. It is a highly motivated and capable staff with a commitment to rigorous analysis and quality outputs. It is a supportive and collegiate environment, and staff are especially driven by their commitment to the public service. The review identified 4 broad areas in which the RBA could strengthen its management, culture, and operations. These are all areas in which the RBA has taken steps over recent years. However, the review's consultation indicates further action is needed. The review's recommendations propose further concrete steps that are designed to help the RBA build an organization that is more dynamic and empowering of its staff, raises the leadership, is more welcoming of diverse viewpoints and constructive challenge, makes more of the analytical and research capabilities of its staff in policy formulation. Okay, so that's not really talking about external communication, is it? Cheap operating position. Yeah. So, well, I'll give you a link to this. You can find it on the RBA website. If you are interested in going through the whole document yourself, let me know. Maybe we should do it on a live stream, guys. Well, let's have a talk about all of this. So, do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing? Do you think the Reserve Bank governor will take a pay cut because he doesn't have to be involved with as much? We know that won't happen, don't we? Well, there you go. We're going to have a body of experts meeting less often, I think 8 times, to make the cash rate decisions. Awesome. I'm sure that'll make a world of difference to the average person. I'm just hoping they resolve their communication issues. As always, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Check out HeiseBim and Heise Does. And if you're a fan and enjoy the content I discuss here, you can support us on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I will see you all in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.